Welcome back to my channel. I'm Traben. These are my tomes, and it's once again time to look at everything I read last week. Real short video this week. Post Summerween, I was kind of still in the spooky mood, but I didn't read a whole lot last week. Only a handful of books to talk about. Let's jump into it. We'll start with Strange Houses and Strange Pictures, which I want to talk about at the same time because there's a lot of overlap here. And if you've been tuning into our reading sprints over the weekends, you'll know that we've already discussed quite a bit about these two books. Both of these books are written by Uketsu, who is a very enigmatic Japanese author who never shows his face, and it's a mystery who they are. In Japan, Strange Houses was released first, and then Strange Pictures followed, I believe, a year or two after. Stateside, we got Strange Pictures first, then I believe they started releasing the Strange Houses manga, and then we got the Strange Houses book. During Summerween, I read the first 2 volumes of the Strange Houses manga and was interested enough in it to give the book a go, to go ahead and get the conclusion of the story. In the case of both of these books, I believe the conclusion gets a little bit convoluted and muddled, but it's definitely more pronounced in Strange Houses, being the first book written by the author. If you're not familiar with these titles, both deal with a series of shorter stories, all connected in some way. Strange Houses is a little more narratively consistent, having the same characters in each of the sections and telling one ongoing story, just split up into different parts. Strange Pictures tells more of a disconnected story. There's different characters for each chapter, and I really do feel like that disconnected nature helps not only with the storytelling, but also with the mystery surrounding everything that's going on. In Strange Houses, we have an investigator who is asked by his family to give a recommendation on whether or not they should buy this house. And he starts looking at the floor plan for the house and noticing there's some odd things here. So he brings it to his architect friend, who extrapolates these wild ideas about murder and all the sorts of creepy things based on the house layout. I love this character so much. He will just be like, oh yeah, like it could have been a murder house, and this is exactly how the murders happened, but I'm just like guessing here. This is all just speculation. Don't even worry about it. And as they dive deeper and deeper into the story, they find more houses, more odd layouts, more extrapolating what the actual layout of the house is and what its true purpose is. It gets pretty silly toward the end, but it's a lot of fun. I do feel like the end is a bit weak and a bit messy in Strange Houses, so it only ended up as a 3 for me, but it's one that I really did enjoy the ride. I just don't feel like it stuck the landing. Strange Pictures, again, tells a more disconnected story where you have different characters in each chapter, but you gradually learn that characters in this chapter, they're actually these characters from another chapter, and this is how it's connected, and you start getting the sense of the overall story. I really like the way that played out a lot more in this book than in Strange Houses. Here, you're given a series of pictures that have some sort of oddity to them, and once again are these detective characters. A teacher, a actual investigator, just other random people will sit down and go, well, because the pencil lines were over this line, that means this was drawn first, and then this other part was drawn on top of it, so it must have been another thing, so I'll go talk to this person, and they'll figure out what really happened with this picture. It's a little bit of mystery, a little bit of horror. I don't know if I'd really call these books horror books. I think they're more like suspense and mystery, but they are a lot of fun, and they are something that you really do need to pick up the book to experience. A lot of the fun in both Strange Houses and Strange Pictures is looking at this series of pictures or looking at this house and saying, what's going on here? What weird thing are they going to figure out from these sketches or from this layout? But I feel like this was more effective. This ended up as a 4-star for me. More of a thriller, like a murder mystery thriller, but one that I felt had a much cleaner ending and was had a number of like twists and gotcha moments that I thought were really effective. If you are a fan of mixed media, of J-horror, of suspense books, I think both of these are pretty good titles to pick up. I would recommend Strange Pictures over Strange Houses, just because, again, I feel like this had the stronger ending. I also read Aster and the Accidental Magic, which I picked up just on a whim because of the cover. I thought this looked a lot like Hilda, and it ended up being very similar to that cartoon. It also gave me Adventure Time kind of vibes. So we have Aster, whose family moves out into the countryside, and she is just not wanting to be there at all. Her family is kind of hiding it from her that they're there permanently. They live in a world where magic definitely exists, but I don't think people know about it. And there are other insane things that are happening. So there is, at the beginning, they talk about the migration is happening soon and to stay inside. And you find out the migration is these gigantic birds who attack us because we did something to their nesting ground and we built a dam. It very much felt like Frozen 2 kind of storyline. So if you are a fan of that kind of whimsy and magic, this is a really fun one. I liked the main character. I liked the way that magic worked. I liked the stories in this. There is one more follow-up book, but these are from back in, I think, 2021, 2022. So I don't think there's going to be more than just the 2 volumes. A number of really endearing moments in here, a number of really funny moments in here. The magic was a lot of fun, and it has a cute package to go along with it. If you're a fan of Adventure Time, of Hilda, of Gravity Falls, there's a Gravity Falls reference in here. Over the Garden Wall, I think those are all titles that are similar in feeling to this. Not as dark as Over the Garden Wall, definitely leaning more toward that Adventure Time Hilda aesthetic, but definitely one that I would pick up. It was very cute and a lot of fun to read. And since I only had 3 books to go through, let's talk about what I might take a look at next week. I've already started up The Adventures of Amina al-Sarafi, which I'm reading for a future video idea, but am really enjoying the pirate vibes here and the magic, again, kind of thrust into this magical world. So that is something I'm definitely wanting to get done this week. I'm almost completely done with the audiobook for Daisy Jones and the Six, so I will talk about that next week. 2 of my most anticipated books of the year, The Enchanted Greenhouse and A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping, came out, and I found them at the bookstore when we went there last weekend. So these are 2 that I'm wanting to read pretty quickly. During that same trip, I picked up What Moves the Dead, which is by T. Kingfisher. I really like T. Kingfisher's short stories, and since this is a novella, I don't think it will take too terribly long to finish it up, so that's another one that I'm looking for this week. I bought Manga in Theory and Practice, which sounded so intriguing. It's written by a manga writer and just talking about the different elements of their craft, which I thought was super cool. I've only ever seen this at one store. I saw it like a year ago, and we went back to the store and they still had a copy, so I'm like, yes, I'm going to grab this time. And finally, I have Destroy All Humans, They Can't Be Regenerated, Volume 4, which I might take a look at as well. And that's going to do it for me today. Thanks for coming by and listening to me rant about 3 books that I read last week. I've got a lot on my plate, a lot on my TBR, so hopefully next week we'll chat about some more things. As always, I hope your reading journey is going well. Don't forget to like and subscribe so we can grow this corner of our BookTube community. Comment down below, what are you reading this week? What have you picked up that you're excited about reading? I always love hearing from you guys and chatting about books. And until the next one, take care.